Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great college basketball game. Two teams that laid it all out. A lot of adjustments, a lot of battles. I thought Coach Alford did a tremendous job with his defense and his game plan. They mixed up their defenses. They got really, really good players. I think Price, Camper, they got a great team. So for our guys to stay the course kind of on a night where we only scored 71 points, I think it's a real test to our defense and our toughness and our commitment to, just continue to play and do whatever the game presents. Don't assume anything. Play possession by possession and stay present. And I thought we did that.
How nice is it having a team where you've had some games where you blitz the team, you win by 20 or 30 in some of these games, but then your team's just as capable of making those clutch plays when other teams are throwing punches at you as well. What's it like seeing this team?
Yeah, I mean, what are we, 16 games in? Every game's been a little bit different, right, Jason? Recently, we've been on a little bit of a run where, we've beaten teams by a pretty big margin. But the reality of it is, this is the Mountain West. Every night is going to be a battle. There's going to be real environments, real coaches, real players. And I thought tonight's student body, there was a buzz in this building. I would put that in my top 3 or 4. I thought the herd really brought it. I did not know they camped out last night. I need Jaden to do a better job to tell me, or one of my staff guys not having social media. I would have drove up here and personally bought them whatever they wanted. But that's, like I told John Henson, that's why this basketball program means so much to this community, because those kids. And, when they come out, they got the blue gloves, it's going to be a real night, and it's going to be an atmosphere like no other. And I thought, our guys fed off that energy.
They come out and make that big run to start the second half. You don't call a timeout. Your team seems to settle down.
I knew somebody was going to ask about that, Sean. I'm glad you did. The assistant said to call one. So I think they went up 6, right? And then eventually we got it back. They went on a 6-0 run. I think we tied it. Those are those field plays, right? As a coach, you got to kind of feel it out. And I think with an older team, we're going to need those timeouts. And I talk about problem solving all the time. We do a lot of situational basketball. We do a lot of things at practice. And I trust our guys, right, to get into offense, to keep playing. And we needed those timeouts at the end. Steve did a nice job. He tried to, trap Drake there, trying to hold the ball, run a play. We needed those timeouts. But I knew somebody was going to ask that, and I think that's a great question, and I think it's just a feel thing.
They seemed to settle. They did settle down.
Yeah. I mean, I got good guys. They're connected, and they got to problem solve. Sometimes it's on them to problem solve.
14 turnovers on a team I don't think has had double-digit turnovers since early November.
Yeah, they're a Steve Alford team. This is a Steve Alford. If you go back and watch his clips, looking at him coming off pin downs or flares, there's not a ton of teams running offenses like this, where there's not a lot of ball screens and there's not a lot of, just playing out of pick and rolls, right? Their MO is off-ball screens, and I think, honestly, it fits their team. I've went back and watched about 8 of their games, went back and watched, the games against UC Davis and just a lot of their early games. They were playing 2 bigs. I think they're really good at running what he's running. I think he's identified an offense that fits his team. We were a little bit antsy the last 3 days because how are we going to be able to create steals, right, when they don't dribble that much? So to get 14 and not get impatient, because we like to steal the ball and get out and play fast, I thought the guys did a good job of just, continuing to take punches and continue to punch back. That's a classic Mountain West game.
Nevada gets 16 offensive rebounds. They should only give up 3 points off of those. How big is that?
Yeah, we had talked to a lot of coaches, and you can't really, if you don't see a team live, you can't really see it on tape. But this team's is as physical as any team we've played. They crash the glass. Their wings are very, very tough. They've got some interchangeable wings that are like 6'4", 6'5". They got long arms. They make an effort to go. Elijah Price is, right now the best rebounder in our conference. I mean, the kid has gotten better and better. He's coming off a great week. He goes and gets 13 and 11 tonight. He's just tenacious. He really is. And, I thought all of our bigs collectively did a pretty good job. But I think we got beat on some of our wings and some of our guards because I thought our bigs really battled. I thought Zach had, a timely basket. I thought he played really hard. I thought KT made some big plays, right? Every basket in this game really mattered. So everybody kind of contributed.
One of those baskets was that end of that 10-0 run when Drake missed that second free throw and Keller tips it out to Mason and he kicks it out to MJ for that three.
That was huge. I thought that was a big turning point play. I thought when Mason stole the ball on the inbound, John Henson asked me, what does Mason Falslev, mean to Utah State? He's really what college athletics is about, right? Back in the day, kids valued wearing the jersey, and the university really meant something, and they grew each year with the fan base. And I'm so proud of our donors, and all the people that stepped up and made sure that we kept him here in town. He deserves to get his number retired. I've said that numerous times. I think he's on pace to do that. And he's one of the elite players that's ever wore the uniform. And tonight, whether it was stealing the ball, making a big free throw, right? Like he made huge free throws. He's worked at that. I've gotten people send me emails about, his free throw shooting. I think he's doing just fine. The kid works, and I love him to death.
How nice is it to just have, your guy that usually goes for 22 only has, a measly 14, and you turn around, the other guy's got 26.
Yeah, MJ, he was a little antsy. I thought he was pretty antsy tonight, right? I thought he made some bad reads on pin downs. He said it, curling and, getting to the rim, he kind of chased the ball. You can't chase the ball, but a big game. First time he's done that. We'll correct that tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a cleanup day. But he guards. He's motored up. Colby's motored up. Drake's motored up. That's the difference, right? Like everybody should admire this team's determination. The story tonight, the headline should be our defense, right? Like we held a really good team to 62 points when we had a bad night. We couldn't do that last year, right? So we've made a lot of strides, spent a lot of time. I can't tell you how much time in this building in the summer. Coach Hout and I just evaluating the tape, trying to stay out of rotations, the changes we're going to make, the changes we made in the portal to make sure we're identifying the right guys that fit this system. And the great teams, I've said, it got to win with offense and win with defense. And tonight certainly was our defense.
One of those things on defense, you guys typically are like shot blocking team. You defend the paint well, but aren't often getting blocked. We get 8 of them tonight.
Yeah, we don't have any 7-footers jumping up and blocking shots. Honestly, once again, it was kind of a collective unit. Drake Allen gets a couple blocks. KT, guys are just flying around. I really believe they were imposing their will. I give Nevada a ton of credit. They just kept fighting back. Our guys made 4 or 5 more plays and fed off the crowd, but there was a lot of bang plays, right? Like our guys are constantly wanting to do this right on the review. And I think we got one of the best review guys out there. I think we're now 4-1 on reviews. We lost to Montana State, but shout out to Kern Walsh. He's got a very stressful job. We've got to get our angles fixed here. I don't know what we got to do. Grant and Jaden, I don't know if that's your department, but they keep complaining that the angles of the camera, they can't see the replay. But our guys keep doing this all the time. I thought it was a hard game to officiate. I thought the crew was pretty good. They let us play through some things. There were some fouls. Their job's not easy. And there's nights you look at the tape, and we still got to clean up some of our fouling.
On the stretch, it felt like Adlin was everywhere, especially defensively. Had a steal, had a lot of deflections. How important was he down that final run?
He's just, he cracks me up. He's just, sometimes he's not where he's supposed to be. He's in the way. I call the middle of the key inside the 3 a pool, and we don't want to drown. So what I mean by that is when Drake or Mason or MJ, they get in there and they pass it, we got to have space. So sometimes Adlin's in there and he doesn't understand spacing concepts yet, but the wingspan, the three-pointer he made was massive. You know, he just brings a different type of length and size to that defense. And he made a lot of big plays. And hopefully him and EP, games like this will get these guys ready for March. But I thought, you know, all in all, it was a lot of guys played good minutes.
Coach, just talk about the level of hunger and hustle you've seen from these guys in recent games. I think one stat that really stands out to me tonight is Nevada with 16 second chances, but only converting 3 points out of that. Just talk about, it's rare to see a team that has this level of skill, you know, also be able to put their bodies on the line and go for every play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. You know, there's a reason we're in the top 25. You know, you're not in the top 25, you know, at the mid-major plus level unless you're a pretty good team. And you're not in the top 13 or 14 of the net. Bartorvik and Ken Palm, top 20, top 25. I don't know where we dropped. But we're balanced. And our guys have bought in that from day one. You know, starting in the offseason, our practices have been 60-65% defense. Now, recently, over the last month, I've stole a lot of time and made some adjustments to our offense to make sure that we can get organized, we understand spacing, we can read the ball, we're training their eyes, right? We know our package going into the game. But you're really, really proud of the guys battling, flying around, jumping on balls, getting loose balls, contesting shots, finishing plays, and winning ugly. You know, quite frankly, I thought it was an ugly game. And to be able to do that is pretty awesome with this group.